Hello everyone, how are you? Sorry for delay. I am your host Pramit Sethi. How are you today? I hope you are happy, healthy, safe, and loving yourself. We are pleased to have all of you here for this wonderful, knowledgeable session. As you all know, we at Xenial, we look forward to deliver what we commit and to bring something new, interesting every single time. Today I'm really excited. I know you must be thinking that he is always excited about these webinars. But the answer to this is yes, I am. It's because all these webinars are educating me and us all together. So why not be excited? Let's take a full advantage of it and fill ourselves with more ideas, hacks, and with more knowledge with the help of our experts. Today, as you all know, we will be discussing about personal branding. Most of our successful world leaders are known for their brilliant achievements in different sectors. They influence public perception and make a distinct name for themselves by creating a unique brand that later on holds their identity and build their reputation. So now it's the time to introduce our very, very special guest speaker, Mr. Varun Jain. He is the account director, large accounts in LinkedIn. Mr. Jain is a Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani and IE Business School alum with prior experience in management, consulting, strategy, business research, and data analytics. At LinkedIn, he advises and enables CXOs to build competitive advantage with talent and insight. He has an international experience and has worked and studied in India, Middle East, United Kingdom, and Spain. To give you something more insight about Mr. Jain, is during COVID time, Varun Jain has done some amazing work, and this is what he's doing today as well. He has been conducting a lot of webinars and spreading the awareness towards how leaders like you to empower themselves and to rethink their approach towards life. It is great to see how leaders actually train the new generation and us. Thank you so much, Mr. Varun, for coming today. We are delighted to have you here.
Thank you, Pramit. Good afternoon, everyone. And Pramit, thank you for such a warm introduction. It's always a pleasure to share learnings. And as you must be aware, I do have a strong connection with Middle East. I did spend around 7 years back there, did my engineering from BITS Pilani in academic city. Also was working for around a couple of years back there in Middle East, in Kuwait, Saudi, UAE. So yes, hope everyone is keeping good, keeping well, keeping excited. And thanks to Xenial Events, such kind of platform to upskill and to reskill yourself, and such important topics, because how I see is this is the time before the war. Let's all invest in ourselves, try to ramp up, and when the lockdown opens, when the real world starts, we are prepared for it. So that's how I see it.
Exactly, that's how it is. That's why we are trying to help our community, help our people, and ourselves as well, to educate ourselves to be like more aware. So how world will be after like post-COVID. So before I let Mr. Varun take over the screen, we have a couple of poll questions for you guys. The first poll is, how much time do you spend on social platform such as Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat every day? More than an hour. 15-30 minutes. I think mostly will be like more than an hour, but still we have some people saying like 15 minutes to 30 minutes. 15 minutes.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, guys, let's be honest. What I thought, it should be like more than 1 hour for every single person. Like, all right. So Sai, let's lock the answers for this. So we got like around 16% for 15-30 minutes. Fair enough. Around like 4% around for 1 hour, and more than 1 hour, 80%. So I'm one of them who spends more than an hour on our social media platforms. Let's go to our next question. How much time do you spend on LinkedIn in a week? More than an hour. I think like every single day I spend more than an hour on LinkedIn now. All right, so 15 minutes, 15 minutes to 30 minutes, around 1 hour, more than 1 hour.
Just to clarity, this is per week. So the earlier question was per day, and this is per week.
Per week.
So you have 7 days with you.
So let's log. So we got like approx 15 minutes. That means like we still have people who doesn't spend much time on LinkedIn. Maybe like the awareness towards LinkedIn. Then we have like 13% for 15 to 30 minutes a week. Then we have 1 hour, 33%. And like more than an hour, we have 42%. Like we got some people like who are aware of LinkedIn, and some people are there who are not. So moving forward, Sai, let's go to the next slide. So thank you so much, every single one of you who have given their responses. Thank you so much for it once again. The screen is all yours. Here you go. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone, once again, and thank you, Pramit, for just running through the initial part, and just to get a sense that how exactly people are trying to use LinkedIn, and what kind of presence they have on other social platforms. So yes, the topic for today's session is personal branding in the post-COVID world, a topic which is very close to my heart, and how I see it, in different professions, whether you are a freelancer, you are a student, you are a business leader, you are in the mid-management, you are looking out for a job, you want to change a job. It's all about personal branding. It's all about how you are perceived by the outer world, how the digital representation of you is in place. So just to make you think, or just to align yourself on the session which is being lined up ahead, think of a leader who inspires you. It might be a corporate leader, it might be a business leader, it might be a political leader, and just think of the reason why he or she inspires you. Just a minute. Pramit, can you just
yeah, sure, I'll do it for you.
Yeah. On the second slide.
Yeah.
No, the before one. Yeah. So Pramit, just help me to navigate the slides. I'll let you know. Yeah.
Sure, I'll do it.
So just to every one of us would be thinking of a business leader. Like for me, Nelson Mandela is one leader which I really eye up to. Or in present scenario, it is Jeff Weiner, who is the CEO of LinkedIn. A visionary leader. A perfect example of thought leadership. The way the world wants to perceive, the way he sends out his message. So that is something which is the primary essence of a individual. When it comes to the professional essence of you. Just to give you a broad, elaborative drill down approach on my personal individuality, as Pramit was telling. As of now, I'm working as an account director with LinkedIn, handling some of the large accounts. Now, in respect to large accounts, these are the accounts which contribute to the 40% of the revenue of Indian business, and headquartered in India. Some of the large giants in FMCG sector, in operations, in telecom sector, in pharmaceutical companies. So I assist these large accounts with respect to their branding, their media presence, their talent hiring, upskilling, learning. So I partner with them closely in their holistic journey of becoming a successful business. In terms of academics, I've done my MBA from IES Business School, Spain, specializing in sales and marketing. A rank holder from there, got a rank 1. And my engineering from BITS Pilani, the college and academic city for all of you who are there based out of UAE. And for my friends who are there based out of Philippines, Egypt, and other countries, Pakistan. So yeah, Dubai International Academic City, a very renowned engineering college of India, which also has a branch in Dubai. Prior to joining LinkedIn, I was working with PwC as a management consultant in their strategy division. I was assisting some of the top bureaucrats, some of the top corporates in their advisory, business expansion, mergers, acquisition, profit and loss, which segment to enter, which segment not to enter, and also aligning with the business leaders on how they should be perceived in the outer world. Something interesting which is not there on my LinkedIn profile, because I'm sure most of you before entering the session would have at least viewed my profile. At least that's what I do whenever I go and attend some session, or I'm invited to talk at certain place, just to get a feel that what kind of audience I'll be talking to, or who are the other panelists. So all my previous jobs and the current job I'm working, all the internships I've got through this platform called LinkedIn. So it's been only a year I've been working in LinkedIn as an account director, but imagine the power of this platform, which helps you to elevate your career, to fast track your career in terms of the whatever business priorities you have. Next slide, Pramit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a basic agenda I want to set up before I move next in my presentation, just to again ponder upon that. Yes, we are struggling the COVID times. Things have taken a back seat. The pre-COVID times, everyone can relate that how things have changed, how what kind of luxuries we used to have, whether it's with respect to shopping, the business, everything has transformed. Now there are two types of mindset, especially for the freelancers, or the people who are looking for a job, the mid-management people, the business leaders. Now we need to come out from the fixed mindset. There are people who just have taken a backseat that yes, these are tough times, these are testing times, nothing can be done, difficult positions. But how I see it, these are the times in which an opportunity is available around the corner. You have time to maybe invest in yourself. You have time to maybe plan your strategy. You have time to reach out to people. You have time to make your brand presence elevate in the social world. And you need to utilize this time. So this is what I call growth mindset. Challenges help us to grow. Your efforts and your attitude determines your abilities. Feedback should be constructive. The message, as Pramit was telling me, what I'm trying to do in the recent times, I'm trying to, I've been invited at not many global universities, at some of the conferences, some of the startups, and I'm trying to send out the message that, with respect to my journey, with respect to some of the business leaders' journey, that how times have changed. So just keep this in mind. Whatever, I'll be happy to take the questions, but let's all think in a growth mindset kind of scenario, that only then you will be able to take out the maximum out of this session.
Yeah.
Yep. Next slide.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to navigate the slide from here, but you can just help me out here once I complete.
No problem. I'll take care of it.
Yeah. So just to, in respect to the questions which Pramit and team had started in the starting, that how much time do we spend on our social networks and on our personal network? Now, how I see it, or how everyone sees it, the personal networks talk about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. We all are addicted. I'm addicted. I do spend, yes, approximate 45 to 50 minutes a day, maybe watching those stories, watching those, what is happening in whose life. But believe me, and this is across. So on personal networks, we spend time. We get information about friends, we get information on personal interest, entertainment updates. But do we learn something out of it? Do we channelize our energy in the right direction, what we require out of it? I do get, I do counsel a lot of people who are struggling with their professional career, who are struggling with their brand image. But majorly, I see that these people are spending time on personal networks. So unless and until, you try and realize that what exactly is a professional network, how exactly your professional journey should be carved out, we cannot make it a difference. So LinkedIn is a platform. There is no other competition to LinkedIn. Not that because I work in LinkedIn, this is something which is which holds true. You need to invest time. You need to make sure that now this investing time can be 15 minutes a day to 20 minutes a day. It differs. Like when I spend 1 hour on social networks, I also spend 1 hour every day on LinkedIn. So this is my individual, commitment to LinkedIn. But again, it differs from person to person, and you are the better judge of yourself. So through LinkedIn, you get to know about industry news, peer insights, and expert advice, and also you invest in your personal career, personal brand, personal status. Next slide. Now, just to help you navigate the message I'm trying to tell, let us take an example of donuts. I personally love donuts. I remember last evening I had 4 of them, something which I cannot stop. I cannot, control myself. Now let us think of donuts, how donuts are perceived on social platforms. You know, on Facebook, the message would be, I like donuts. On Instagram, here's a cool photo of my donut. You know, on WhatsApp, anyone want a donut? Like I remember, you know, my friends who want to tease me, you know, because of lockdown, they would message me with a photograph sitting in their, you know, in the comfort of their home that anyone wants a donut. So that's how the same message about donut comes across on social platforms. Now let us see how it comes on the professional platform. Now let us see a previous slide, Pramit. Yeah, let us see how donuts are being talked about on LinkedIn. So for example, let us go through this. I hope to operate a donut franchisee one day. I'm looking for a job at a donut company. I have 3 years of experience making donuts. My top skills are donut production and sales. Here are 3 recommendations from a former donut colleague. Now, just, you know, you all would have a clarity that how exactly the messaging should be really different when it comes to social platforms and when it comes to professional platform. Now, I do see a lot of people, and especially in the late 20s or late 30s, that you know, we have the habit of uploading the same status message, the same photograph across platforms, whether it is WhatsApp status, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and this is the right way that you lose your credibility, you lose your persona. The people start perceiving you in a different manner, and then we get frustrated. We see that we are not able to get most out of it. LinkedIn is useless. But I'll take you through the journey that how people are capitalizing on this platform. One strong message I need to send out, you know, which I've been trying to touch upon during my initial slide, that LinkedIn is an investment. It takes time for you to get good returns. You know, just citing a personal example. So yes, I used to be obese. I remember what I am now. I'm not saying I'm the fittest of all, but yes, what I'm now, I used to be around 30, 40 kgs more. And I wanted to lose weight. I got enrolled myself in a fitness chain back in India. And, you know, I remember that initially for 2-3 days when I took classes, I used to spend 2 hours in the gym. And then I realized, dude, I've done enough for the week. Now let me just take a chill pill. Let me just order my favorite double burst Domino's pizza, a large cold drink, and life is set. But that's not how you get good returns. For getting good returns, you need to gradually, slowly evolve. You need to invest time. And then only you can become a champion. Not only for LinkedIn, but also for yourself, for you as a brand, because it is you as a brand, the brand called you. Now, basically the agenda for today's session, you know, I would be touching about these 5 parameters. Last would be, of course, the question answer round, and getting to know LinkedIn, why LinkedIn, building thought leadership, your profile, your story, and getting knowledge and insights for career ahead. Now, just let us understand what exactly is the mission of LinkedIn. Now I'm sure, just to reiterate, LinkedIn was acquired by Microsoft way back. So we are a Microsoft parent organization directly under the leadership of Satya Nadella. Very close to his heart, entire systems processes are of Microsoft. It is connecting the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. Now, I see it as a very strong message, a very strong mission statement, which really connects each one of us, whether we are at a different stage of our career, a freelancer, a student, a mid-management, a leader, a person who is just about to graduate, a person who wants to start his business. I will be touching upon all different topics on how you can capitalize on this platform. Just to give you a rough sense on what LinkedIn is all about, you know, what kind of database we have, like, you know, some of the science students or some of the technology enthusiasts on the session would appreciate that it's all about data these days. You know, through AI, through machine learning, these data points are connected, and that's how the insights come out. So as of now, this slide I prepared last week when I was preparing for the session to be taken today. As of now, we have 690 million members, 50 million companies, 60 million jobs in COVID times. So these 60 million jobs are across globally. 95K skills, 120K schools, and 290 billion of updates. Now, imagine the power of this platform. When we talk about 290 billion updates, imagine the kind of thought leadership people are engaging in just to ramp them up or just to increase their visibility or just to get to know what is happening around. Now, here comes, before I just kick off my session, just to reiterate, my session has not started yet. This was just to make you understand what exactly, just to ponder upon. Let us think of these three questions. Who you are, what you post, how you engage, and what makes you to come on LinkedIn, or what you want out of LinkedIn. So the moment you have these questions in place, the moment things will start boiling down to the solutions which I'll be talking about.
So for this, we'll be having a poll questions for you guys. So why do you want to build LinkedIn presence? What do you think? Like whatever, it's a one word, you can just mention it down. Why do you want to build your LinkedIn preference? Is it for jobs? Is it for networks, for professional connections, just as a social media person, just to see what's happening there? What do you think? So we got connections, we got career, we got jobs. Jobs are more. Opportunities. So as you can see, like everyone has a different prospect towards LinkedIn, what they are thinking for. Some are actually going for ads as well, which I can see, but mostly it's like jobs. All right. Thank you so much everyone for your responses. So as we can see, it's like mostly it's jobs what people are looking for, but still like we have people about like looking for networks to connections. I think like for these networks and these connections are like really important to get those jobs.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving me this input, and this is exactly what I was aiming for, and this is exactly what gives me satisfaction. So just to give you a solid check, the middle graph of jobs. Now I will be talking about what all you need to do for jobs. Now the periphery, the ecosystem, whether it is connection, network, now these things all streamline, all converge to your job.
Right.
So my presentation would be having, anything from your side?
No, everything else is good. Yep.
So my presentation would be having two parts. The first part will be talking about your profile, your story, and just a small asterisk mark that the people whose first part is not complete should not graduate to the second part. In the sense, be there in the session, but should make sure that the first part of the session is in place. So what I need to cover in your profile, your story. Basically, I will be talking about 8 clear steps, which makes sure that your LinkedIn profile is in place. Because, when I was talking to Pramit, some of the initial questions which people reached out what they were expecting out of the session was something to do with the profile. Because during my primary research, which I carried out on LinkedIn, many profiles are not in place. So let us study that what exactly a good profile looks like. What are the, those hidden tricks, or what are the top ways in which you can modify your profile.
Right.
First step, a very important step, adding a photograph. Now by photograph, I mean a professional photograph. Where I come this example from, I do see many profiles every day in and out. People having funny photographs, people having casual photographs. I have seen photographs of, people have taken selfie, a group photograph, or as simple as a scenery, a scenic beauty. So believe me, now when it comes to professional network, the importance of photograph. Now I do read that some of the people were saying that they wanted connection requests, they wanted, the network to grow. Imagine just by having a professional photograph in place. Now these are the real-time chats. 9 times more connection requests, 21 times more profile views, and 36 times more messages are being responded.
Right.
Now these are some of the examples which I noticed when I was preparing for today's session. Some of the examples of people's photograph, a graffiti, wow, or a person standing on the hill, or a lady taking a selfie. Now let's step in the other shoes. Let's step as a business leader, or let's step as a person who is your manager. Do you think any kind of seriousness you observe when you see these photographs? Now see in the second row, maybe three of the business leaders who I deal with in India. So Ritesh, Sriram, Apur. Now, believe me, at least I get a lot of professional sense when I see their photograph. Like I wish to at least talk to them. Who are they? At least take time to view their profile. So this is the first step. Talking to the second step, adding your industry. Now this is very important step, but always left out. People don't actually pay focus on this step and don't realize the importance of this step. Now, just to set up the context, it is all about automated algorithm which works on LinkedIn. Like whenever the recruiters, the business leaders, anyone wants to search any profile, for example, even a freelancer, the moment the industry is not in place, for example, our freelancer would be focusing on certain industry, maybe media industry, events, or maybe photography, anything. This can be different for different people. Now, unless and until the industry is in place, your profile won't be shortlisted. Your profile won't come in the automated system. And then we realize that what is lacking. The LinkedIn is not working for me. I'm not getting visibility. Now imagine more than 300,000 people search by industry on LinkedIn every week. Imagine the power, and it just takes a minute to take it in place. So these are some powerful tricks which works wonder. You will come back to me on LinkedIn and say, Varun, it worked for me. Third step.
Yeah.
Drafting a compelling summary. Something very close to my heart and something very important for business, for any professional. Again, across. Now, it is like your elevator pitch, and how I see it as an elevator pitch. For example, you meet certain business leader, or you meet certain boss who you are eyeing for a long time in a lift, and he's going on the 7th floor, you are going on the 11th floor. You just have 2 minutes to talk to him or to leave an impression on the table. Now, what would you talk to him? You can't just start, I'm from the city, I'm working in Dubai, I live in Jumeirah. This is not the story. You will waste for that 30-40 seconds. Now, this is a summary for around 50-60 words in which you leave an impact on the table. And this is one of the examples which I share. Like, as a sales leader with over 25 years of experience, I'm passionate about connecting to customers into solutions that help them grow this, that. So imagine, how professional, how crisp, how crystal. So this is an evolving process. It will not happen that after my session gets over, you will spend half an hour and just, make these 8 steps in place and you are done for the day. That's not your investment. Invest certain time, relook again after 2-3 days, and then that's how you will evolve. That's how your positioning statement would come into picture.
Yeah.
Fourth step, detailing your work experience. A major miss across profiles. Now, when I talk about detailing your work experience, mostly what we do is, yes, I'm working for XYZ company, I'm studying in XYZ college, I'm a freelancer, and I'm available. But what do you do? Like, what is the description? Like, anything which details out your accomplishment, any project, which team, which vertical, what are your responsibilities, what are you looking for? Now, to give you an example, how the system works, the people we are eyeing for, the business leaders or the job seekers, the managers, they are all busy people. I'm sure that each one of us know that the kind of reach out or the kind of people who want to get connected is humongous, and the kind of response the person needs to give, he really wants to differentiate. Now, to differentiate yourself, make sure that if a person views your profile, he or she could get the maximum data which is possible from your profile. Do not expect that he reaches out to you over a message, then you try and draft, you ask for a day that let me get back to you tomorrow, then you draft one email, you try and spend time, and then you reach back. You lose the opportunity, because by the time you get back, 3-4 other people have got back to him or her, and then the opportunity is lost. So that's how the system works.
Yeah.
Step 5. Adding examples of your work. Very crucial, very important, and it should be innovative. Now, what I mean by adding examples, since LinkedIn is a standardized platform, everyone knows how LinkedIn looks like, both from the business side and also from the recruiting side, both from the connection side and also from the other aspects, even from a freelancer side, across nationalities, across geographies, single platform which exists everywhere. Make sure whatever interesting you are doing, whatever innovation you are doing, whatever expertise you have, you attach in the form of a presentation. especially for the freelancers, to showcase your work, to showcase that what exactly do you do, capture them into slides, capture them so that, a person without even asking to you, because randomly, not many people do visit your profile, or the people you are trying to approach, they will visit your profile. Knowingly and unknowingly, they get to know, they get to see your work. Do not leave an opportunity on the table that they will reach out, you will take 2 days, then you will send out. No one has that much amount of time, believe me, these days. It is again a first mover advantage, the way you want to differentiate. Sixth step, a step very close to my heart. Thanks to Dubai, I was a part of Dubai Cares, which my friends back in UAE or back in Middle East would associate themselves. Sheikh Maktoum's foundation. Adding volunteer experience, extremely important, especially during these COVID times when the entire world is struggling through this pandemic. People have become more, more caring, more generous. People are trying to be more sympathetic, empathy, passion. So make sure that you are associated with certain volunteer organization. If not, there is never too late. Even tomorrow you can, even today you can get associated. It does not require anything apart from a bit of your time. Now, the point I'm trying to make in with associating yourself with a volunteering experience, because it really gives a holistic view of you. It gives you that you are a complete package. Yes, you are an academician, you have studied in college, you have got a business degree, you have done certain qualification, you are a student, you are again a person who is looking out for a job, but you also have certain other angles, which is you are associated for a noble cause. You are associated with the CSR activity. Now make sure you capture it, you detail it out. This is very important. And imagine members who had volunteer experience and causes get up to 6x more profile views than those without. I wasn't aware of this fact before joining LinkedIn. So, these are some of the LinkedIn hacks which really elevates your profile. Last two steps are very critical. Make sure you work it out. Seventh step, adding skills and getting endorsed. Looks easy, but believe me, it is the most difficult step. This requires your time. Now, let's not have a barter system in this, that Pramit, you endorse me and I endorse Pramit. Pramit endorsed Sahil, which is a member in his team, and Sahil endorsed Pramit. There should be no barter system. Your skills should talk about you. Have only 8 to 10 skills on your profile which you are passionate about, which you feel confident. For example, PowerPoint, Adobe, Excel, maybe photography. It can differ across. These are not sector agnostic. It can be different for different people. And make sure these skills are being endorsed by certain people who are good at that, or maybe certain people who have seen those skills. For people studying in a college, do not get yourself endorsed by only your batchmates. For freelancers, do not get yourself endorsed only by the people in the same community. We need to think out of the box. We need to do something which other people notice. And how it works. Again, there is an automated algorithm which really filters out, which really gives the analysis that what kind of people are endorsing this particular person, what kind of credibility this person brings on the table. And imagine 17 times more profile views and 5 times, who had 5 or more skills. So imagine the power. But let's build upon this. There is no shortcut to it.
Yep.
Last step.
Just a second. Yeah.
Now, this is what I call the most difficult step and the most time-consuming step. If you see my recommendations on my profile, I've spent 10 years in building those recommendations. Or 10 years is a huge amount of time. The point I'm trying to make in is, whether you are a student, a freelancer, a student going for MBA, a student wants to apply for a job, a mid-management person looking for a job, changing for a job, a top leader, CEO, recommendations holds true for everyone. Now, the moment you need a recommendation, always aim for the best. I remember when I entered into my MBA and I was looking for a recommendation, I realized that I only want a recommendation from the dean of the college or dean of the MBA college. And just to give you an example, the college from where I did MBA, I Business School, it is one of the top 10 in the world. Now imagine how difficult it was to get the recommendation from the dean. It took me 3 years to get the recommendation, but you need to prepare your case, because this recommendation stays with me for lifelong. No matter where I go, which company I go, people will read these recommendations. Normally, it is a human tendency to have recommendations lying in your email box. Let us get the stuff out of the email box and get it over here. And believe me, the moment certain big people are talking about you in any industry, in any field, the moment your credibility increases, your persona gets some weightage, and you start becoming a brand. Now here your brand journey starts. So these are the 8 steps which talks about the first phase of my presentation. Unless and until these first 8 steps are in place, you should not graduate to the next phase which I'm talking about, because again you will collapse. Let's work on these first 8 steps, and then we will shift to the next phase. And for those whose first 8 steps are in place, let's see what is interesting in the second phase. Very important question. Not many people reach out to me, especially people who are famous on LinkedIn, that what should I do, because not many people keep on sending random requests. Now, if you do not want random requests, if you do not want to increase your network, which you should not, ideally you should have a quality network over quantity, just change the setting from asking for a connection request to a follow request. Now, this is something which might differ for different people, but the point I'm trying to send across is, yes, there is a facility which can make people follow you rather than sending out a connection request. And this holds good for business leaders, not for normal people. Building thought leadership. Now, this is the phase 2 of my presentation. Your voice on LinkedIn, you as a brand, the brand called you, what you need to do. Next slide, Pramit. Executive communication is critical now than ever before. In these changing times, in this pandemic times, when the business leaders are struggling, are trying to send out a message, there is no physical contact. So this is the time that everyone is trying to send out a message of sympathy, passion, empathy, that we are in it all together. So people look for leadership in times of uncertainty. And this is especially the next 2-3 slides. I will be trying to talk to the mid-management people, or to the people who are at a managerial position, and there is a team who look up to them, that what should they do? How should they handle their brand? So 4 types of ways, when we talk about that, who needs to hear from you, on LinkedIn, basically, who is your audience? So either it is your employees, your customers. Next to.
Yeah, just a second.
Your executive leadership, or your investors. Now, these 4 questions or these 4 parameters would be different for different people. For example, talking myself into consideration, I need to talk about, I need to think about all these 4 kind of parameters when I talk about my messaging on LinkedIn. Executive leadership, I want to make sure knows about me, my investors who want to invest into LinkedIn, and the other 2 steps. So these are the 4 parameters we need to make sure to keep in mind when we are trying to create our brand, and what kind of message we should go out. Sharing status update. Now the real thing comes up. What kind of status update should go out on LinkedIn? Now, this status update is very different on the status update which we are used to doing on Instagram, Facebook, good morning friends, here's my coffee, the weather is good, I'm bored, or what not to do, what to do. So these are not the things to be talked about on LinkedIn. These are not the things like political discrimination, political discussions, or maybe, your strong stand on certain things. The status on LinkedIn or the blog on LinkedIn should talk about your passion. Someone is passionate about marketing. You have a view on the business economy. You have an insights on how business is shaping up. You want to know something, like the initial slide where I talked about donuts. So that should be your messaging on LinkedIn. And believe me, by sending out this status update on LinkedIn, you will start engaging with people. People will start responding. People will start eyeing you that you are a committed person. You are a person who holds certain kind of thought process and who actually serious about his or her career. Now, sharing some of the best practices for sharing updates on LinkedIn. Share your authentic voice. Very important. Never ever go for the copy paste strategy that you copy from somewhere and you just paste it. Believe me, if someone replies on your message that, hey, there is a link that from where you copied, your brand value exactly dilutes. Even if you're copying something, if you're taking some instance, refer it, cite the citation that here from where I've taken. Appreciate the person whose message you are quoting. Never go for a shortcut. You'll actually collapse in this creation of your brand visibility. Post frequently. Now this frequently can be once in a week, once in 10 days, twice in a week, thrice in a month, but not like 5 times in a day, which we keep on doing on Instagram or Facebook, that every time, the stories and everything. Let's be a bit serious about our professional journey, about our brand, because it is no one else but you. Starting a conversation or share your point of view. Exactly the first point, how I was relating that it really helps you to connect the dots. And believe me, my friends, if you're not comfortable in sharing a status update, do not. At least start engaging with other status updates. When people are commenting, when people are talking, have your views, you agree with it, you disagree, you think in a different direction, but do not type very good, I agree, I disagree. Write a sentence, what you agree, what you disagree. Do not do for the sake of it. I usually see that people just, post my session, they start engaging in random activities. Just maybe a thumbs up, very good, excellent. No, what excellent? Is there something which appeal to you excellent, or it is just a random thought for the sake of it? Now, if you want to get returns, you need to invest time. Include a rich media to increase engagement. Again, a point I just made. Again, depends on how comfortable you are, but a best practice to include. Next point, Pramit.
Yeah.
Create an opportunity for reciprocity. So how I see this message is that unless and until you start appreciating people's posts, people's, what people write, people will start engaging with you. So it's a give and take process over here. Start appreciating people, people will appreciate you. Next slide. So what is thought leadership? Thought leadership is a key pillar in your company's overall brand. Like, it can be Xenial Events, it can be a small company, it can be a big company, but thought leadership is how people perceive you and your organization. So how can you keep your communities engaged using relevant messaging techniques in multiple formats? Let us have a look what different communities, different people are trying to do on LinkedIn. Now, just to show you stats, 87%, it increases the trust in your organization when business leaders, now business leaders need not only be the CEO, he or she need not only be the board of directors, even you are a part of the company, even you have certain kind of a brand image, like I'm working for LinkedIn, now I represent LinkedIn. If something good happens with LinkedIn, I should be vocal about it. It's a normal feature which I've seen that whenever any silly thing or any problem happens in the company, people come to the social media. But what about good things? Like, for example, not many companies are firing. Everyone is talking gaga about those companies on the platforms. But some companies have not fired yet. No one is talking good about those companies. So, let's be a bit of empathetic. Let's have that kind of belongingness feeling. And imagine 89% it enhances a brand's reputation. The moment brand's reputation goes up, the moment your reputation goes up, because your brand is somewhere or the other linked with the organization, the institution, the freelance organization, anything. It is where you find yourself associated to. Top content among CXOs on LinkedIn. Next 3 slides I've prepared especially for the corporates, about people who are into business, that what kind of messaging CXOs are sending out on LinkedIn. Very interesting slides. So imagine CXOs are engaging with content about how companies are responding to coronavirus. Genpact, Deloitte, Accenture, some of the top firms. Imagine the kind of message they are sending out, that they are with the employees, how the business is shaping up, what is happening new. Now, this should be a part of our journey. Even if you are an HR leader, even if you are a you're trying to start your business, you're having your own business. Imagine 20 people work for you. Now gone are those days that you used to call 20 people in your room and converse with them. Now everything is virtual. You need to send out a message so that people can even watch it later on. So that is the power of this platform. CXOs are communicating measures they have taken to ensure employee productivity and business continuity. Now, these are some of the examples. Tata Consultancy Services, SBI, a leading bank in India, ICICI Bank, again a leading bank in India. Now, these are the ways these business leaders are trying to, relate themselves with the brand, with the image, and how people perceive them. And believe me, these are the ways by just connecting themselves to the larger audience, they're able to strike in a chord. It is helping their brand to elevate and also their organization to sustain in this pandemic time. Imagine the importance of this brand. CXOs are showing what kind of CSR activities are being done by the company. Again, something I was trying to talk, the volunteer experience. Unless until you are, you have your volunteer experience in place, unless until you are excited about the voluntary experience, no one can help you out. See, imagine how the dots are connected, how different dots in your personal journey connects to the dot of your professional journey through the organization, through the institution, through the freelancer, through the mid-management, through the business, and through being an entrepreneur. Gaining knowledge and insights. An extension of phase 2 of my presentation, but how you can gain knowledge or insights on LinkedIn. The billion of the around 600 billion data which I was talking about in the initially, and how exactly this data is being used. Very interesting to know that how exactly people are, using it. Now, if I'm not wrong, Pramit, in the starting, some of the people were writing that they want to increase their network connections and everything. Now, the answer to this. Now, what usually people do, or what usually I receive as a request, people just randomly send out that after the session, after today's session, people will reach out to me that, okay, here's a connection request. Now, who are you? Is there a common? I don't know you because I'm not able to connect with you personally. So imagine a personal touch. For example, here is an example of a person reaching out to the professor. Dear Professor Smith, I very much enjoyed your Economics 201 class last year. It's actually what inspired me to do a major in economics. May I add you to my network? Now just keep yourself in the position of Professor Smith. If I was Professor Smith, I would at least reply to Megan, because he really shows that he wants to invest in the partnership, invest in the relationship. Let's take one more example of how you reach out to a business person. Dear Scott, I found your profile through UT Alumni Network. I'm a current student and would like to talk to you about your path to Amazon. Amazon is my top choice employer for the next year, so I would love to get your perspective. Would you be available for 20-minute phone conversation? I look forward to hearing from you, Megan. Now, this is what I call growth mindset. The fixed mindset is that you just send a request, the person does not respond, and you are done, like the person has not responded. So just imagine, Scott would be receiving around hundreds of requests every day. Not many people are trying to approach to him. What different have you done just to get in touch with him? Now here comes the difference. This is what you should do to grow your network, to have your visibility in place, or to have that connection to talk about job. Let's not, job is there in the back of our mind, but what are we doing to get that message across is most important. To gain knowledge, two things which we need to do is follow companies, research institutes. Now these companies can be anything. It is again, depends on person to person. Some person can be aligned to the media industry, maybe aligned to the FMCG sector, tech sector. Now by following these companies, you get to know what is happening in this world, what technology is evolving, how the business is shaping up, which new sector, new geography. So this is the best way to learn about these companies, which never happens on other social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or maybe Twitter. This is the only way to elevate yourself, to prepare yourself for the healthy discussions, business meetings, interviews, everything. This is the way. Follow influencers. Very important. I have seen lot many business leaders talking about that whenever they view any profile, they always see what kind of people are being followed. For example, I really follow some of the business leaders I will be talking about in next slides, which really elevates my conversation, my connects, that how exactly I'm trying to align myself. Who are the people who I look up to? Now, at times, we only find an opportunity to talk. But when you have a platform to showcase your opportunities, why not use that? Imagine, I'll talk in the next slide what kind of people are present on LinkedIn. Just to give you a rough example, a snapshot. Now, there are around 300 plus influencers on LinkedIn. These are the CEOs, chairmen, founders. In this slide, just to share with you a confidential information, or maybe, I won't take names. Two of the business leaders, two of the people who are on this slide are in touch with me. Like I've been connected with them. Imagine the power of this platform. Me connecting, like I'm just an account director at LinkedIn, but me connecting to two people through LinkedIn, this is the way you can elevate yourself. This is the way you become a brand. This is the way people acknowledge you. This is the way people respect you. So these are the ways in which your brand should evolve, especially during this pandemic time. Communication style. Again, I saw that some of the questions were that how should we communicate? How should we send out a message? Now, these are the 4 pillars I covered in the presentation, but just to give you a snapshot, be personal, keep it short, be creative, and have your LinkedIn profile in place. The first 8 steps, always remember, make a short note, 8 steps, 8 steps. It is very important. Unless and until the 8 steps are in place, you will not be able to squeeze the juice out of LinkedIn, because believe me, it has a lot to offer. You can be a brand, you can be very successful in your business, you can get the best of job, the best of internships. I'm the example, I'm the living example in front of you. And I have so many examples to share. If I get an opportunity again, I'll share with you the kind of people who have tried to capitalize on this platform. One thing which I'm personally doing, or not many business leaders are doing, students are doing, freelancer people are doing, is to utilize this time to upskill and to reskill yourself. Now, there are a lot many platforms available on internet. For example, Google, Upgrad, maybe LinkedIn Learning, maybe other platforms which offers you certifications. Now, use this time to do these certifications. Lot many certifications are available, in fact, for free. Use this time to use these certifications and add them on your LinkedIn profile. Now, this is the way you differentiate yourself from the normal crowd, that yes, during the pandemic time, apart from making those TikTok videos and uploading those 50, 60 stories, you have also learned something new. That is your investment to your career. Something very close to my heart, it really pumps me up, it really motivates me, is learn, unlearn, relearn. The illiterate of 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, relearn. Always have the hunger to know more. Always have a nature of taking constructive feedback. No matter, I've seen some business leaders at the age of 60 plus are open to learning, were open to new business idea. For example, let me quote an example. When this pandemic started, everything is moved virtual. Today we are talking on Zoom. But remember, every one of us used to talk about Skype. Now, where is Skype? No one talks about Skype. Skype is totally zoned out. But I remember maybe 2-3 years back, it was all about Skype. A virtual conference, a virtual meeting meant Skype. Can I have your Skype ID? What is your BBM pin? Kodak cameras? Now, this is how things change. Unless until you evolve, you don't work on yourself, you do not create a brand, you will be ruled out in the coming years. In the new normal, to prepare for the new normal, we need to have a proactive approach to at least be accountable to ourselves. That is my humble request. Thank you. Open to questions, Pramit.
Thank you so much. This was like so insightful about every single step of what you said. I've noted down all those 8 steps. For sure, I'm gonna go first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change my profile, because I think I have a lot of things which are still missing from my profile, and I still have to work on that. If I talk about something about what you said about society, volunteer job, I guess like it really helps every single person to do something towards the society, and people sees that, because I think that the human touch has to be there. A lot of companies, I was talking to one of the leaders here in the UAE, and he was telling me about, he asked me first of all, have you done something towards the society? Then I had a question in my mind. I haven't done that much. Like, charity is fine, but I don't do that much charity. But then it comes up to be like, what about these webinars? Like, I discussed this topic with him. Like, these webinars also, like what I'm doing right now, are a kind of a social thing what we are doing. So they were like, yes, this is a kind of what you're doing. With this, a lot of people are getting educated. So I think, yeah, your point is something really nice. We need to do something for the society to make sure like we also get in touch with people. You feel what they are thinking, what they are going through. So we got a lot of like, you had initially, you had one question towards like, who is your mentor, or who do you follow? So a lot of people, they have said the same thing. What I also like it, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk. These are the two people that I personally follow, because as per their innovation, as per their leadership, as per what they think, actually they all are the brands. They are not a company. They are themselves a brand. Like what we are talking here today about brand, personal brand. So when we have like some questions, as you can see, like there are a lot of freelancers who are there in our network and who are there today for this webinar session. So they have few things they said about the keywords. What are the important keywords that can be used on LinkedIn page or your profile when you are writing something or content?
So a very good question, and thank you for all the freelancers. My heart goes out to you. You are in the struggling phase, the tough phase, but believe me, this is the time you can actually use to create your brand. Now, the important keywords are the hashtags. Like if you use, the example you can get, for example, hashtag learning. So learning is, if you see that there are many followers who are following that hashtag, so use that as a keyword on your profile. These are the words which are regularly being followed, or maybe COVID, or maybe like upskill, reskill, or anything to do with that. Just search random your LinkedIn by hashtag that word, and if you see that the followership is huge, that is the word to be used on your profile.
Okay, so like recently, like what I have studying as well when I was going through LinkedIn a lot. So they have mentioned about like what we use the hashtags for different platforms, like in different social medias. Like we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Every single platform has a different kind of hashtags, and different number of hashtags we can use it. So what do you think for LinkedIn? Like, can we use a lot of hashtags, or it has to be like specifically numbers?
Very good question, Pramit. Thank you for bringing in this, because I think I missed this part during my presentation. At LinkedIn, never use those tons of hashtags like 3-4 rows. No, it looks very unprofessional. The best way to use hashtags on LinkedIn is to use certain hashtags during your write-up. Like you must have seen when people write a paragraph or maybe some lines, they use in between the words hashtag, and then
Right.
at the end of the sentence, just use maybe 4 to 5 hashtags maximum. Do not fall into the trap of tagging 8 to 10 people using 100 hashtags. It looks very unprofessional. It looks that you are desperate to get that attention out there. Do not use that.
Okay, so like 4 to 5 is the maximum that we can use it on LinkedIn.
I'm around 10, 4 to 5 at the last of the sentence, and 3 to 4 you can use in the sentences.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for this. Like I was using like 7, 8 sometimes, but like I'll make the change for sure. We got another question. The guy is someone from your university, BITS Pilani. I'm a student studying in BITS Pilani. I have focused more on my academics than other activities. So how would I put forward my expectational academic performance?
So what's his name?
It has come to me privately, like from my colleague. So I'm sorry, I don't have his name.
Let me put it this way, that if you are a business leader and if you see someone who is only good in academics, what kind of impression would you have about him during these times, or maybe as a part of the organization? I'm sure obviously you would love to know that, is he good in communication skills? Is he good into fitness? Is he a good team player? Is he sympathetic? Is he passionate about what is happening in the society? Now, having said that, it is very good that you are good with academics, but this is the time to invest on certain other things. Maybe join an NGO, maybe become a part of certain theater, certain activity, or maybe learn something new. Learn maybe a guitar, maybe music, anything. So there is no. I'm not talking about you becoming an expert, but show a complete approach, because today, if you are having a CGPA of 9.5 or 9.9 or 10, that would hardly make a difference, because the talent is readily available out there in the market. Because of companies firing out, you need to be different. You need to bring in something extra on the table. I deal with people in and out every day which are struggling with the jobs. They are ready to work at a lower salary, the best of talent, people from Harvard, Manchester, all the best colleges, but jobs are not there. So what new you have done? Have you done something different, something interesting? That needs to come out now.
Right. Exactly. It's like learning. At the end, it comes again learning. And like LinkedIn's tool, there's a LinkedIn Learning. I think that's a very, very interesting tool. I've been using that. Like there are like a lot of free courses. So I think it's really good, and people should use that. They will learn something or the other. We got another question from Aziz Ahmed. Sharing your company details and messaging random people about your company in LinkedIn. What do you think? Is it professional, or it's good, or it shouldn't be? It's not good.
I think there is an answer in Mr. Aziz Ahmed's question that it is highly unprofessional. Never reach out to random people, because let me put it this way: when random people reaches out to you, what kind of seriousness do you have when you receive those random WhatsApp messages or SMS or maybe requests? Now, have your target audience in place. I know that reaching out is important, but don't just copy paste and reach out, because that would dilute your brand image in the long run. I do see not many people. Sharing an example, the other day, someone reached out to me from a very good college asking for an internship and starting "Dear Ma'am." Now he forgot to change in the spree of copy paste that I'm a guy. I should be "Dear Varun" or something, "Dear Ma'am," and I lost the impression, because I thought that he's just, when he does not even have a minute to edit that message,
Right.
or just customize, and he's just sending out to random people, then no one has an impression to respond to him.
Right.
So
So like
yeah.
Right. So like every single message, that you're absolutely right. Like every single message when we are sending it to someone, whether your colleague also or someone senior, so you have to customize it as per like that person need as well. Like what exactly that person is, like who is that person, which company he works at, what they interest also.
And just to add
Yeah.
on this question, that for business, it should not be for each person. If you want to send out a promotional message, at least sector specific, prepare 10 to 15 types of message which goes out a particular audience, and people can at least relate to it. Do not prepare a single message and just 500,000 people you send out, and that will not serve the purpose.
That won't solve the purpose. Exactly. Another question we got from Muhammad Abdi, it's regarding as a graduate. He says like, I'm a recent graduate. What should I write in my experience section? I don't have any. So it's just like about the university experience.
But I'm sure that since he's a recent graduate, he would have done certain internships during his university. Maybe that's what the normal scenario is. And
Right.
even if he has not done any internships, if I take the benefit of doubt, at least mention about certain projects which you did in your university. Maybe any research project, any uh, any any thesis you wrote, or your final project, anything you would have done, something different from your academics. Maybe so talk about that. Maybe you were a part of certain society in the college which did some amazing work. Anything. And
Right.
even if you have not done anything, no one is putting you in jail. But that should be, if you get a job, at least start doing then. So there is no problem that if you do not have an option, let's explore some other options. That's how the growth mindset works.
Right. Like as you mentioned in your presentation also, so it's better to put your, like as now you mentioned also, your learnings, whatever you learn, like during the COVID time also, whatever courses you have done, or during your college time, you have some projects which you worked on. So I think all of these volunteer jobs, all these things, they can add up those. Another question which we got is, I think it's an interesting, during like when you write your experience in that experience section, what's more attractive? Is it the bullet points, or do you think it's a paragraph which is more interesting for the recruiter or someone to see it?
So actually, both are good as long as it is not clumsy or it is not too heavy to read for the eyes. Short sentences in bullet points is something which I prefer instead of long paragraphs. But again, three, four, line, two paragraphs are also good as long as it is an interesting material to read. One thing to make sure: do not copy from other people's profile and write in your profile, because again that is caught. Let's invest certain time. Let's be accountable. Again, sorry for being repetitive. Let's be innovative. Let's be. It is our journey. It is your brand. The brand called you.
Right. It's that brand that people have to create. Like me, or specifically we are the brand. We got another question from Naseem. She says, like, do you think a graduating student can start networking with companies related to the field to be ready for job opportunities in future?
This is the best time to start networking. Because believe me, once you start working, once you are in the mid management of your career, you hardly get time because you start enjoying what you have in present. But once you start graduating, or maybe even before you start graduating, you should start connecting with alumni of your college, with the people you do your, in your personal network, with your cousins, friends, their siblings. Grow your network. You never know which company you would be interacting the other day, and the connection would help you. So a personal habit, a personal journey. Every week I try and connect to two new people. And to connect to two new people, I reach out to 10 new people, because that's the conversion rate. At
Right.
times, I don't even connect to two new people. I connect to only one, or at times zero. But that's what motivates me. Even I'm satisfied in my job, I'm established. But again, I need to think of my next play, my next job, my next career move. So that's your investment.
Right. That's absolutely right. One, like during these course of timings, like we mentioned about certification learning. So there's a question a person is asking about all these certification, whatever we get. So is it good if we can post it on our profile, like as a status? It comes up, this is the certification we have done. Does that affect also as a positive way?
Very, very good point. Do share those certifications, but those should be serious certifications. Do not do the certifications which you complete in 1 hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and you get a certificate. The
Right.
world knows how you have got those certifications. Voice out only the certifications in which actually you have passed a certain exam or invested 40 hours, 30 hours, because again, your credibility in your hands. You can post 5 certificates of 10 minutes each, and the world knows there is no response. So
Yeah.
that's how it is.
That 10 minutes, 15 minutes, these are not worth as well, these certifications though. Another nice question is, it's from one of the youngsters, Gerald, says, should one follow connect based on your profession or experience strictly, or can send connects to prospect outside your profession as well?
Absolutely outside your profession is. So LinkedIn is like a networking event. Once you go in a business conference, you meet people from all walks of society, all walks of businesses, and I'm sure that is what I do. And I've seen business leaders by exchanging cards. So that is what LinkedIn is all about. Grow your network across sectors. Do not be, yes, you are specializing in your sector. You are trying to connect with more people in your sector, but at least be open to know what is happening around, because you yourself will evolve, you yourself will change games. Like, when you grow in your network, like today, Pramit, you can see your journey. You started your career in different sector, then
Right.
you did something, then you started with media. So if you would have been only in that sector, then how would you grow? So that's how you need to evolve. You are not sure what will happen tomorrow.
Yeah. See, like what I have been like since the past 1 year, since I'm into this field now and into entrepreneurship. So connection with different people, different mindset people from different profession. Also, you learn something or the other from them. Sometimes you never know, in future you might switch your line and you go somewhere else, like what I have been doing before. So
Example, Amit, let me put it this way.
yeah.
During this period, travel and hospitality industry has completely taken a back seat. Now
Right.
imagine if someone who's only connecting in travel industry, in tourism, then how will he survive now? What will he do?
Right. So he has
And
to
imagine,
change.
yeah, you have to change. You have to change the gear.
Exactly. That's why, like, it has to be like we should be like quick to adapt to changes, I guess. I think it's more important rather than just to stay and procrastinate towards like when things gonna get fine like this.
And just for the youngsters on the call, I started my career into oil and gas industry, then moved to consulting, and now I'm in the tech industry. One thing which I've noticed across is some of the young business leaders, to fast track your career, you need to work in different sectors. If you're only sticking to one sector, you will become a business leader, but it will take time. For freelancers, try and do some different activities. Do not constrain yourself only to one specialization. For example, Pramit, you do media events. You will, I'm sure you do for different sectors. You will not only do for only hospitality industry or only for sports industry. You will be open to sectors, right?
Right,
That's how you
exactly.
need to evolve. You need to keep on thinking something new.
Right. So like this gives an answer, I guess, to one of the questions which we received just now. Or the question was, earlier I was a lecturer in engineering college, and now I am jobless for like last 2 years because of relocation. I wanted to go into technical field. How should I frame my LinkedIn profile into that?
Very, very interesting question. And I think this would be a question in lot many people's mind, and it will answer. The first thing this person should do is to upskill and to reskill, because you were into teaching line and now you need to enter into a different line, do certain certifications, do certain courses, enhance your learning. Make sure your profile speaks about this. Make sure your profile also shows that you're open to other things. So people will start observing. Share certain content on LinkedIn. Talk about your ideas on economics, on pandemic, on on other things, so that people know that you hold an opinion. You are a marketing enthusiast. You know
Right.
about sales. So whatever you learn from the certification, share your thoughts. For example, I did one course XYZ. I learned something interesting. What do you think about it? People will start engaging with you.
Right. There's the same similar question to this question was, I have changed my field, but I don't have full-time experience in it comparison to the last field which I was doing. So how do I make my freelance experience as my highlight to get this job or to get more benefit out of it?
So the question
Right.
is that previously he or she was in a full-time job. Now he or she is in a freelancer job.
Yeah. So like they have changed his field. So and he has that freelancing job experience more. So how he can highlight that freelance experience job more towards people so that they can see their profile and get to like, okay, this person has this experience.
I think, see, you cannot differentiate by writing more about freelance and writing less about your other technical experience, but maybe in your tagline you can write about that. Like, for example, the tagline which happens near the uh, in the second part of with your photograph, like how you see mine as a account director at LinkedIn, or
Right.
different people write different things. So maybe
Right.
there, and also in the summary part, use your summary part, that elevator pitch, to talk only about your freelancing thing, because that gets downloaded in the automated software and people will get to know that you are something to do with freelancing work.
Right. Okay. So like we got a lot of questions and people are like saying that we have to change our profiles. We have to work on our profile. We have to do a lot of updates. So from my side, like Varun, we have answered a lot of questions already. There are some more questions coming in, but as well as our time is ticking in.
Let us do this way, Pramit.
Yes.
Again, let this sort of audience work on the learnings which I shared. And
Right.
happy to come back again. These people can reach out to you. They are in touch with you. And
Right.
let me know. Happy to again share my learnings. Happy to again check what went wrong, what went good, and we can work on it together.
Right, for sure. So whatever questions might come again, people, you can send your questions, whatever you have, so we can share it with Varun, and we'll get back to you with the answers to that. And just in case we need it more, we can call Varun again for another session. So he might take a test. Then, like, what have you done towards your profile, and how you have improved your profile from today till then. So thank you so much, Varun. It was a really pleasure having you. We have and thank you so much, audience, for lovely questions. You had a lot of questions to ask. I'm really happy, and I got like a lot of tips from you, Varun. Thank you so much. I'll make sure from today onwards I'm gonna change my profile, do some edits, and I'm gonna send you, like, please check my profile if you think it's better. All right.
My pleasure.
Thank
It's my pleasure. Such a learning experience, and thanks to the audience. Actually, I enjoyed. I learned something new. Every time I take a session, I interact with the larger audience. I end up learning something new. That's how a person evolves. So it was all my pleasure.